Hello, Butt Stuff. It's me again, Susan, your friendly neighborhood building technology coordinator. I'm back here today to give you some more tips with your email, but this time I'm going to be focusing on your communication with others. I have three really great tips. The first one is an add on called Boomerang that I have found to be very helpful. So, what Boomerang does, two things. It allows you to schedule when an email will be sent, and it also allows you to have an email resent to your inbox. And that can be helpful if you need to have um, an email brought back to your attention. So, what you'll need to do is open a new tab and just search for Boomerang add-on in a Google search. Here it is right here, boomeranggmail.com, and click Add this to your Gmail. This will work in any browser. After you have done that, when you go into your inbox, you'll see you have a new icon that looks like a little rainbow colored boomerang. All right, so now when you compose a new email, you will notice you now have underneath the send button a send later button. So if I were to send an email, okay, let's say I want to send something to Kathy, our principal. Okay. Oh, let's see. I'll talk to her about the book fair. But let's say I am way ahead of schedule and I don't actually need to send her this email for a couple of weeks. And it will be, let's see, how about, can we meet sometime this week to talk about book fair? Okay, but book fair is 2 weeks away. So I can click on send later and I can send it 1 hour from now. I can send it tomorrow afternoon. I can send it in 1 week. Or I can be very specific and say exactly the date and the time that I want the email to go out. So let's say I chose 2 weeks from now. It schedules my message. Okay. This window, you don't need to worry about. As you can see, it automatically went out. And now that message is going to be sent on Saturday, February 27th. Okay, so that is great for just kind of keeping yourself organized, communicating with people that you need to communicate with. And then the other part of Boomerang is having a message come back to you. Something that you think, oh, I need to see that again, but not for another week or not for a few more days. And you can see in my starred inbox, I have a couple of different things labeled already. Boomerang returned. Now that's a label that automatically appears, although I did color code it myself. So these are messages that I had that came in, and I knew I needed to see them again, so I scheduled them to Boomerang, come back into my inbox later. So if we go down, we'll pretend that I need to Boomerang February 15th PD event. So I click on it, and it even says here Boomerang this, and I can choose. And the reason it did that is because it has a specific date mentioned in the email, and it knows that. And so it's basically saying, do you want a reminder that you have this event coming up? Or if it's something without a date, then you just come up here to this Boomerang button, and then you can schedule when that email will return into your inbox. I have found that to be extremely helpful so that I don't forget things that I need to follow up on. That's probably number one tip as far as I'm concerned, something that has helped me out the most. Okay, now the next thing that I want to talk to you about in regard to your communication with others is a cool thing called canned responses. So you might find yourself, maybe sending emails to parents or other teachers that you have to send over and over, where you're writing or typing the same thing. Maybe it's monthly or weekly. So you can make a canned response so that you don't have to retype it every time. This is probably something that not many people know about because it's a little tricky to find. You go into your settings by going to the gear and clicking on settings. All right, and across the top are these different tabs, and canned responses are found in the labs. Labs are kind of experimental things that may not, it says that they may not stick around forever. However, canned responses have been here for quite a while. They are your second option, canned responses, and you just click enable. And then you'll be able to create and send a canned response. So if we go in and compose, all right, let's say I have students often with overdue books. I can create a canned response so that I can send out an overdue notice. So if I come down here to the bottom, I have my discard, draft, and then right next to that trash can is a little triangle. I click on that, I have canned responses, and I can insert one that I've already created called overdue notice. I click on that, my canned response pops up there, and then I can personalize it by giving the title of the book, and then I type in my recipients and send it. And in this case, it's a short canned response, so it probably wouldn't take me forever to type that out. But if I have a big stack of overdues, it could take a long time. Canned responses just save you time. And sometimes your canned response might be something quite lengthy, and it can just save you a lot of time. And as teachers, we always need anything that can save us some time. Okay, so tip number 1 is boomerang, and tip number 2 was canned responses. And I do have one more idea for us. This one is just a real quick little way to make sure that you can actually see when someone reads your email. So sometimes you might send something out and you wonder, gosh, did that person ever receive or read that email? They haven't gotten back to me. You can create a read receipt. So again, if we go to compose, we go right back down there to that little triangle again. And one of my options is request a read receipt. So if you click on that, what will happen is when the person, your recipient, opens that email, you will get a message back letting you know that they opened your email. So that will help you to know if they've received it. Sometimes it might be helpful if you have someone who says to you, I never received that email. You can say, well, my email says that you opened that message on this date at this time. So it can just kind of help you a little bit with your communication. Okay, so I hope that those 3 tips are helpful to you. And as always, if you have any questions about how to make this work for you, please don't hesitate to come on down to the library and ask.